All right. OBS says we're streaming.
All
Should
right.
probably have had YouTube open already, but I don't. Anybody out there yet?
There it is. We are live.
There we go.
We got
We're
Mr.
live.
Max.
Late?
We are late. We're
1 minute late. That's right. We were commiserating. Oh, god damn it. My camera spurred out again.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Goodbye.
It'll fix itself.
It will. I just got to close YouTube. There we go. Computer does not like streaming and having anything else happening.
Anything else. Yeah.
Yo, MRH Legacy, what's up? He's cross audience from
what's
the
going on?
political side of Twitter and YouTube.
Oh, nice. Excellent. To autistic communities.
Yeah, exactly.
In the best and worst ways.
Yeah.
At the same
I
time.
will say, though, I was telling my friends the other day, I was like, man, I thought libertarian Twitter was stupid. Like, Jesus Christ. RPG Twitter is something else.
Yeah. This week, the last 2 weeks, it's like it keeps escalating. It seems to have died down.
Yeah. It has died down.
Or two.
Everybody said what they had to say about reaction rolls and all that stuff. So based, literally making a character for a Pathfinder 2e game I'm playing over the summer while I listen to this. Nice.
Nice. MRH, how do you like Pathfinder 2? I've been curious about it. The action, the new revised, whatever you want to call it, action economy is very interesting to me. Although I hate the new art style. It's
yeah,
not
but you
even
hated the old
like
art style.
I hate the old art style, but at least it was better. It's like this. It's the same art style, worse. I've discussed this with all of my friends. It's like all the colors are washed out. They look like they've been Xeroxed over.
They look like a print drive-through RPG book.
Yeah, all of the characters, like the iconic characters, the iconic fighter and the monk and the bard, they all look like gaunt and emaciated. One of these days we have to put up on the maybe we'll do another like art stream at some point. And
we definitely should, because that went pretty well. Although for the record, everybody that episode where we talked about Clyde Caldwell's art and the other art, I was looking at the YouTube retention data, and there's 3 massive spikes during that section. Yeah, exactly. It's literally when we're pulling up pictures of chicks.
Yeah.
Y'all Dane a bunch of coomers.
Yeah. Dane was playfully giving me shit for us not including any Keith Parkinson art.
Oh, that's true.
I'm a huge
fan
of Keith Parkinson.
Yeah, me too.
So we'll have to.
His stuff's amazing. Yeah, I mean,
amazing. I have the two.
We didn't have any Larry Elmore in there either. Like, there's a bunch.
Didn't have any Larry Elmore.
We should definitely do more of that. That was a lot of fun, and there's so much good stuff.
It was fun.
We were just running behind, and
there's so much good stuff and bad stuff.
Yeah.
To reminisce about and laugh about.
Yeah, Clyde Caldwell and who the fuck was the other guy? Jeff Easley. They're on the same. I think they're on the same website. So that was why I was like, okay, we're just pulling all this shit. Yeah, it was very easy.
Yeah.
The action mechanic is kind of nice, allows for pretty good flexibility in my experience.
Yeah, you have like 3, I forget what their terminology is, but you have like 3 actions you could take in around certain abilities or spells.
Like a choice from 3 or 3 total?
3 total. So like some spells or certain things take essentially 1 or 2 or 3 actions. So, and
okay, that makes sense.
I don't remember if you have I don't think Pathfinder 2e makes a distinction between active and reactive movements. That would be cool if they did. That would be very much like how Mithras handles it. But I think I'm just getting confused with Mithras.
Yeah.
I played one session of Pathfinder 2e, I played like a rando game on Roll20 for the first like 2E adventure path, which is.
How long has this game been out? I thought that like it was pretty new.
I want to say like 4 years.
2E has been out for 4 years.
It may not be. It's no less than 3.
Wow.
I'm stupid.
I thought 2E came out like 6 months ago.
No.
I'm very tuned in, as you can see.
Well, I checked out a long time ago with Paizo. You know, like I've said before on the stream, you know, I have a nostalgic connection to it because I started with it, and there are certain parts of the world and certain adventure paths even that I really liked as solid premises. They've all been like dog shit.
Yeah.
Kind of everything. I was interested for a hot second when they had they released an adventure path in one of their countries, which is like ruled by an undead, like high class. Like, oh yes, this is.
Yeah.
I've loved this country, this nation since it came out. All right, and like.
Yeah.
They have like a pink or purple haired halfling chick on there who's supposed to be one of the aristocracy, a little more cheerful. Like,
I heard that like D&D obviously like WotC's super woke, but I heard that Pathfinder has been like way woker for way longer.
They've always been, yeah. They had the decency to contain.
Yeah. They had the decency to try and make a game.
Make a game, yeah, and
actually I posted today.
Right on, man.
I posted today that I was like, was there like a turning point with D&D 5e? Because I remember when it first came out, like I read the basic rules and I was like, okay, yeah, this is a game, that's fine, and it didn't seem super cringe. And now like everything that comes out is like horrible and woke. And I posted and I think might have been Aaron the Pedantic responded and was like, yeah, 2020, like literally every product from 2020 on has been like woke garbage.
So I would suspect that the inflection point there would have been the inflection point in the broader culture, which was the first wave. I would say would be like 2014 and then 2016 with the election. And then again, with their supposed ascendancy in 2020 and getting the Democrats back in office.
Yeah, the good guys, the adults.
Yeah, the good guys, our lords and saviors.
Yeah, all those big publishers that have to constantly put stuff out will always have a power creep, and that annoys me. Yeah, and yeah, Paizo is woker than WotC, or at least they were. Now it's getting close.
Yeah. Yeah.
After they ousted Merle. I'm not sure who that is. Very unplugged from from all of that.
I think, if I remember correctly, he was one of the, I guess, part of the brain trust for
one of the actual game designers,
3.5 or something. Yeah. And I thought they brought him back for I don't remember. But yeah.
Yeah. Crafty Matt says, when people could not go outside and force themselves into our hobby and then forced our hobby to change was 2020 in the pandemic. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. That was a great consolidation.
Someone at my job said that they started playing D&D in 2020 during the pandemic.
Yeah.
All over Zoom, I presume.
Yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we've done plenty of that.
Sure.
I mean, that's primarily in the last decade how I was able to role play to find good players. Yeah. What's up, Gentiles?
Gentiles. Correctly spotted.
Yeah. Well, there's a clip from Norm Macdonald Live where he's interviewing Jerry Seinfeld, and Jerry Seinfeld says, here's a joke that only Jews will understand. And Adam Egget, his co-host, is there, and he's like, oh, I'm Jewish. And he goes, oh, okay. So he says, two Gentile businessmen meet at the market. The first one says, how's business? The other one says, great. And Adam Egget starts laughing like he gets the joke. And the joke is that, it's two Gentiles, so they everything's fine. There's nothing to complain about, you know? Yeah. But he didn't get the joke. They had to explain it to him. He's like, oh yeah, no, I didn't get it. That's like amazing. Norm Macdonald Live was the funniest thing he ever, literally the best thing Norm Macdonald ever did. It was so funny.
Yeah.
I got that joke even though I'm very not Jewish. Yeah.
MRH Legacy, have you guys ever heard of the game Red Markets? It has the most Reddit setting ever. I have heard of Red Markets.
I have not heard of that, but that's that's really funny.
I was actually intrigued by the premise of it until I saw the book at a convention, and it was like this big. And it's a post-zombie apocalypse, so the rebuilding has happened, and from what I recall, civilization has pushed dystopia. They've reclaimed east of the Mississippi. So everything west of the Mississippi is still unclaimed, and your characters are going back into the wastelands, not to get gold or money, but I mean, money would be great, but you're trying to get old...
you're not trying to get money.
And not trying to get money, but you're trying to, all the computer hardware and stuff has, the infrastructure has been left behind, so getting people's identity, like old bank accounts, so to like funnel it back, like very, very amusing idea of treasure, identity theft, the game in a zombie apocalypse, which is hilarious.
That actually kind of reminds me a little bit of one of the title topics of this stream, which is Stalker role-playing game, which of course I left in the other room, but who cares? It's a book. You all know how to find books. But I had been kind of thinking about the discussions we'd had the last couple weeks about dungeon crawls and dungeons, and how most of the time they're just like these silly haunted houses, and you know they don't really make any sense.
Arbitrary haunted houses.
Yeah, like totally arbitrary. And I was like, what's a good counterexample? And then it just kind of dawned on me that Stalker is basically a dungeon crawl. It's not like traps, but it's like extreme environmental hazards that are essentially like traps because you can't always see them.
The very physics of the zone is hazardous and ultimately unknowable.
Right. And it's like one of the most atmospheric settings.
It's a great point.
Yeah. And it's all about finding treasure and essentially magical items. Oh, I know. I haven't run it in a while. And one of the reasons is that I really don't like the system because it's a diceless system. And it felt really arbitrary, like resolving challenges. Like there is a mechanic to figuring it out, but it was very wishy-washy. So I was thinking about this today, and I have Wretched Roleplaying Game from the Red Room, which is the core book is not genre specific. It's very much, it's got like a little bit of kind of like a pulp feel. They call it spaghetti punk in the book, which I think Pundit coined that in one of his reviews of their products. And it kind of fits. Like the Wretched seems to have kind of I won't say it's a lightheartedness, but there is like they value style over substance and all of these things. So it's not like a perfect fit for this game, but they also, I do know that a couple of their game lines, there's like Wretched Darkness is sort of like a World of Darkness style game line. The one I really want to get is Wretched Epoch, which is like 19th century Paris Cthulhu style horror. Yeah. Sounds awesome. I'm going to wait until the second edition comes out because I have the core book.
It seems like they have the right amount of self-awareness.
Yes. That's
without being irritating.
Right. But
without being morose.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, this actually kind of does work for Stalker as a rule set, because you have the element of like, you can obviously use these D&D rules for, dungeon crawling, same sort of thing, but they also, the whole thing is that you're playing like kind of anti-heroes, and Stalker is not necessarily an anti-hero game, but it is definitely like you're basically grave robbing, and like the people who are motivated to go into the zone, there's got to be something kind of wrong with you. You're like this, like kind of morally gray Indiana Jones, not necessarily heroic. So I think it works for that. And there's also there's things like in the Stalker system, you have a system where you can basically burn like a point of luck to get like an automatic success or something like that. Like I can see that using like their optional rule of these like dramatic dice. I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head. But it's for like extra effects and like extra sauce being added to it. So I was thinking about like, okay, now I can run a Stalker game online because I won't constantly be second guessing myself about determining success and failure. Cause it's just, it felt kind of dirty when I was doing it. It's much, much better to have dice for something like that.
I would be curious I wonder if something like Stalker would lend itself well. I'm not sure if you're familiar, Matt, with the Genesis system. I know that's a very contentious system. The Fantasy Flight game Star Wars were the first ones to do it, so they have narrative dice.
Is this like it's a it's a D6 system, but they have like they're not necessarily like 1 through 6. They've got like symbols on them for different narrative style effects or something like that.
It's not a D6. There are essentially D6s, but there's D6s, D8s, D12s.
Okay.
Maybe D20s. I don't remember. It's been a while, but you have like success, advantage, triumph, failure, disadvantage, and despair. And some other things for the Force, if you're talking about Star Wars. But I think you have boost die as well. It seems like that might fit well for like an incomprehensible.
Yeah, something where like everything doesn't make sense.
How do we make sense of this in the moment? Yeah.
Yeah.
The narrative, I got 3 successes, but a despair and a disadvantage as well. Like, okay, interesting.
There's also,
it seems like it might fit.
It might. I'll have to take a look at that. There's also like in the Stalker book, it's 2 books. You have in one, you have the Player's Handbook and the Game Master's Guide in there. And in the Game Master's Guide, like I was looking at it today and it didn't look like a straightforward set of tables, but you basically have like these charts listed of like random effects for anomalies and artifacts that you can combine on the fly to make unique things, which is really cool.
Oh, interesting.
I just kind of wish that it was like a table, instead of, I think they're like lettered instead of numbered. So I was like, all right.
Great layout, guys.
Yeah, but the art is really cool. Like it's all black and white. Kind of old school feeling kind of stuff. Really dark setting, and it takes itself really seriously. It's awesome. You
definitely need for a Stalker game.
Oh yeah, and I mean there's obviously, it's like you can draw inspiration from the video game, but it is very different than the video game, because the video game, like they draw from the same source material, but the role-playing game is an officially licensed product that is literally based off of a roadside picnic, whereas Stalker has the dumbest plot. The Stalker, the video game, has the dumbest fucking plot I've ever encountered. Yet it is one of the most atmospheric and memorable video games I've ever played. Like I love that game, and I really, really hope that Stalker 2 is good. But the music for Shadow of Chernobyl is like perfect fit for Stalker the role-playing game, because it's just this like
great soundtrack,
ambient droning, very creepy and weird, like unsettling.
Exactly what you want.
Exactly what you want. I mean, there's a ton of great stuff about that game, but it really is like you're a treasure hunter, and you're going into the most dangerous biome ever devised to get treasure. And there's definitely more to it than that. Like you
don't even know if it's valuable. Could be. It might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was also, I can't remember the name of the movie that had Natalie Portman in it. It's not The Arrival.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's her and 3 other female scientists go into this bubble, basically, this thing called the Shimmer, and it is the zone. This movie was, I know it was based off of a book, but that book...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Literally had to have...
Annihilation.
Annihilation, that's what it was. I knew it started with an A. And yeah, like that was definitely inspired by A Roadside Picnic. That's a really creepy movie, really atmospheric. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. The bear is like, that thing is awesome. And so that's also a great reference. And that was the thing, like when I watched that movie, because I went into it blind, I knew it was going to be like Stalker, but it literally had one of the premises of a game I ran in Stalker, which was you wake up in the zone and you don't remember the last 3 days of your life. Like, so you already delved in and something happened. You got hit by an anomaly. You encountered something. No one remembers anything and you don't know where you are. And so you have to find your way out. And that was basically what happens. It's like they enter the Shimmer and then the next scene, it cuts to them waking up and they've been inside for days and they have no memory of what happened. So, great minds think alike, I guess, or maybe very similar NPC minds think alike. Who knows?
Yes.
Time will tell.
Both.
Let's catch up on the chat here.
Yeah.
Crafty Matt says, you can, well, actually, first, MRH, he says, I don't know, Norm at the YouTube show was pretty darn good. Norm at that YouTube show was amazing. That's like one of the greatest clips of all time, which I used on Twitter recently. Him just saying that's a bunch of commie gobbledygook. Crafty Matt, you can see the change in WotC design mentality in 2020. Before that, they had lost Mines, TOA, ROD, classic adventure structure. Then after 2020, Tasha's, Strix, Wilder. Does that say Starbucks? Starbucks employees, etc. Yeah, okay.
Seattle.
Right.
Seattle.
I gotta get closer to this thing. Every time that I turn on the stream, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna figure out how to make the text bigger this time, and I still haven't. It's not for lack of trying. The book has a great premise, and the mechanics are okay, but they have zero understanding of economics. But it acts like it does. Oh, that's infuriating. Yeah, I fucking hate that.
Yeah, you have to. In addition to Stalker, you should run either a game of red markets or I remember hearing about years ago a game called Free Markets, which I think is like old as hell, where like limited resources on a space station or a ship, I think.
Oh, I've heard of this.
Where economics.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was thinking this should be something we talk about on a different. Where like we should both choose 3 games that we want the other person
to run. That's a great idea. Yeah. That's a great idea. That's an episode.
Now I've ruined 2 of them.
Yeah.
So I'll have to think of more.
Which is kind of weird though. Like I would think you would be wanting to retrieve literal things from the lost instead of just ID cards that the state pays you for. Yeah.
Because things are always things,
well, because that would make sense, and we can't have that.
We can't have that.
I don't know if I would like Wretched. The focus on the deadly sins is kind of putting me off. Yeah, I mean it's not as like I said, there's like a lightheartedness and a goofiness to it, so it's basically at a I don't know. I've played similar things like New World of Darkness had Virtue and Vice mechanics, which I think got replaced with something else in the second edition. But essentially, it was like if you acted in accordance with your vice in a way that like kind of set you back, you'd get 1 point of willpower back. If you acted in accordance with your virtue, you would get 3 points of willpower back. So it was harder. It was in those games is much harder to act virtuous. But But the other thing is that's also something you can probably swap out with something else.
So I did something with short-lived at this point. The game was not. It didn't fit the group, but the short-lived Mithras game I ran. Something I added. It's not part of the core character creation. But to make a long story short, I included basically It was a fantasy setting, and I included basically, it wasn't the 7 sins, but it was basically something to that effect. And in that game, the emphasis wasn't to make you necessarily exemplify those things, but to put it over like, this is like the doom of your character. This is not only is this like a flaw in a vampire sense, this is a literal demonic influence that whatever destiny, whatever potential, whatever positivity you might bring forth, this is what's trying to stop you. So it made the characters think very much about it, but you weren't leaning into it, which I get the sense is what you're doing in the Wretched.
Yeah, definitely.
And the sort of like, and it seems more tongue in cheek rather than
it is. It's like it's
take it seriously, like make a monster.
Right. It's
sort of deal.
It feels very, very pulpy. Like.
Right.
And like
that's the sense I get as well.
Yeah, it's like exploitation films. Like it's. Which also, for the most part, in my opinion, have a kind of lighthearted goofiness to them, even though they're like disgusting.
A Grindhouse type deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It is very Grindhouse, and I like that stuff. But I totally get that. But again, I think that's something you could probably swap out with a different mechanic. Or
flavor it like you're not leaning into it if you don't want to be doing that, where it's like you're trying to hold out against it.
Mm-hmm. But I am pretty interested in their settings. Like the Wretched Epoch is the one that I really want to get. I do want to check out Wretched Darkness as well. Simply because I like the World of Darkness stuff. So I want to know if that might be kind of a worthy, not replacement, but supplement, to it. And then they also have one that's for like space, but I think if I'm going to get a sci-fi game, we're going to have to check out Traveler. But also, I've got too many games. I bought too many games in the last month
I know.
that I need to actually go through. I've been spending all my time for the most part, with Lion and Dragon.
Lion and Dragon, yep.
And Dark Albion.
Oh, we're making our headway.
Yeah.
We'll be putting Cyberpunk through then.
Yeah, I'm super. Oh my God, I can't wait. I am so fucking pumped for that. I haven't played in so long.
Same.
I don't like the system of Genesis, where a dice roll not only determines success or failure, but also some other circumstance. I find it taxing to interpret.
Definitely at the beginning,
very negative tonight. We are too, though.
We've had a rough week as well.
A rough week, yeah. If you can notice the bags under my eyes right now, it's been a long week.
Yeah, it's definitely a steep buy-in, and certainly a learning curve with regards to pacing. Especially if you have players who are not really interested or not that creative. But then again, why are you playing with them?
Yeah,
they're not creative.
Let's see. I'm currently playing Stalker Gamma. I wrote a quick game based on it, Waste Runners. I'm not familiar. What is Stalker Gamma?
I'm not familiar with what that is.
Yeah,
Unless you mean like Stalker, playing in the Stalker universe with Gamma World. That'll be interesting.
Maybe.
I've never played that.
Yeah.
Another sort of post-apoc setting or game, and maybe also implicit setting. I don't remember.
Yeah. Mr. Max is quoting Murray Rothbard here, saying, "It is no crime to be ignorant of economics. After all, it is a specialized science. But it is greatly irresponsible to act like you do when keeping yourself in a state of ignorance." And that is so true.
True.
Yeah, lol, Rothbard. Nice.
Yep.
And then The Dark of Maya. What soundtrack ideas do you guys got for the Cyberpunk live play? So that's in Nick's hands right now.
Good question.
We're kind of working out the details on how we're going to do this, because the copyright stuff, for the first time that we go through, we're likely not going to have music actually playing on the stream, just so we don't get taken down. But we are going to have like a banner or something that is saying like, check the description for the playlist if you want to listen along with us, because we're just going to be listening softly in our headphones. And then once the next session, by then we probably will have figured it out. How to do it and not get taken down.
Not get taken down. But primarily synthwave is
lots of synthwave. There will be a playlist though, so you guys can check that out if you like.
And what I want to do,
check out White Bat Audio if you want decent non-copyright stuff. We will definitely do that. I was gonna open the browser, but that will make my camera spurg out. So I'm not gonna do it.
Now, of course, I can't find my pen, but I do have a pencil.
I remember one time I didn't have a USB stick on hand at my house, and a friend of mine was like, dude, that's like not having a ballpoint pen. And like, I was like, do I even have a pen right now? Like,
truly living in the dregs of poverty.
I've lived. No, it's not that. It's that I've like plugged into the Matrix all day. Like,
yeah. Aren't we all? But yeah, what I'm going to do, I have a bunch of songs in mind. Unfortunately, if this were an in-person game, I would get super autistic with different playlists, and what I typically like to do is have songs for certain places, certain districts, even for certain NPCs sometimes. But as the game goes on, so the playlist has either 25 or 30 songs in it right now, but I'm going to add like 5 more or 6 more or something. So
it'll just continue.
Continue to grow.
Yeah.
We see more places, experience more things.
Yeah.
Playlist and the game will sort of grow.
But
it's a Spotify playlist that
I
think we'll link to.
I'm pretty proud of the thumbnail I made for that.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
man.
it took a couple of iterations, but I got there.
Yeah.
I was pretty pumped with that. Midjourney is very good at making e-girls, apparently.
Who'd have thought?
Boost that click-through.
Yes, and definitely captures the vibe, for sure.
Yep. Yeah, that would be nice. Also excited to see Nick run and Matt play. I've only seen the games that you have on the channel. Yeah. I don't think I've played in one of your games yet.
Yeah, you never have.
No.
And I've only played in, I guess they basically were 2 one-shots, Crypto
Yeah,
Locker.
we had Crypto Locker, and then we had, I just heard the Gilded noise hang up. Uh-oh. Are we still broadcasting? Looks like it. We're still live. All right. Nick will be back soon. Yeah, what I was saying, though, was that Nick... Oh, boy. Is he back? Are you back? Nope, something's going wrong. All right, well, anyway, I'll just keep talking, and he'll join back in when he can. Yeah, Crypto Locker was a science fiction one-shot that I ran in a setting that I had been kind of concocting for a while. And I am thinking about it. I might actually start developing this into something bigger. But the basic premise... join Nick. Hold on. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me start the video call here. See if he can join. This is a great stream right now. But yeah, the basic premise was that I wanted something that was science fiction in the near future that was not dystopian. You know, I'm so sick of every science fiction being complete dystopia. Couldn't set up the video connection. You motherfucker. Start the video call. I can't believe we made it this long without having technical issues before. But yeah, I wanted something that was like somewhat hopeful in some sense. or at least not hopeful, but a positive vision of the future. And so I came up with a setting that was going to be a lot more in line with that, but also, oh, did we get him? Nick? All right, disconnect. What the fuck is going on here? Oh, wait. Are you here? What the fuck? I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my gilded noises are like going crazy in my headphones right now. Yeah, positive vision of the future, but I wanted it to be something semi-plausible and based in like things that are happening with, or at least were at the time, things with like crypto and there goes the noise in my head. You know what, guys? I'm going to stop the stream for a second and we're going to be back because